This is a test. This is only a test. Ooh. This is a test. Can you hear me? Hello? You hear me? Awesome. That's fantastic. There, that's better. Yeah, I put the right headphones in. How's that? That helps a million times better. So, sorry to come at you all at such an uncommon hour. It's good to see you guys. Come on in. What's up, Red Pill and Headless? All right, good. I didn't think I was going to get the sound. I didn't think I was going to get it because I was late in the game. I already started and then I plug it in, and most of the times when I do that, stuff starts going sideways bad. Starts going sideways bad. But not this time. That's good. You know, the bad weather that came through. And a little bit. Here's a bit of a storm the other night. Otherwise, this summer has just been unlike anyone we've had in like decades. It has been so nice. It's buffering? Why would it buffer? It's buffering. Already? How could I get them mad already? All right. What can we do here? Here, maybe we'll. He is not gay. And I go, what is happening right now? And I called my dad immediately. And I was like, Dad, I just got confirmation that Tommy Lee Jones isn't gay. And my dad goes, oh, I thought he was. Is that the end of your investigation? There. Try anything against YouTube. Maybe that'll fix it. Maybe. What's up, Joe Mama? Well, hopefully that problem goes away. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. So nice to see all you guys. Yeah. It's wonderful to see you. Sure. Hello, Linda. Nice to see you again. Joe. So nice of everybody to show up on this late August night. Yeah. Not as late as I normally go. So that's good for me. Better for me. What's up, Stamp? Food Stamp. Yep. It's been a long summer, hasn't you guys? Man, March till now, I'm blink of an eye. It's just, I don't know. It's a real interesting year already. Already. Very interesting. And what's in store next? I don't know. We'll discuss that in
a little bit tonight, talk about some other stuff too. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for coming. So I'm reporting from the upper cave of the house. I'm in one of the kids' old bedrooms, and that's where I'm coming. So how's the connection? It's telling me that the connection is unstable. Is it still buffering? Good. I drink alone when nobody else is around. Still buffering? That's terrible. Okay, well. Current episode titled Losing Faith in the Plan. Losing faith in the plan. I brought this up a few times over the last few, whatever, that I was seeing some concern for some channels that were starting to turn. Yeah. It's really, really, really going into the next phase. It's buffering. Man. Hitting that. All right. It's okay at the moment. All right. So, all right, what I really want to address is this. If you're losing faith in the plan, which I'm starting to see out of some people who they've kind of told themselves to be MAGA, but have now 90 days before the election just turned themselves over from the MAGA voice, everything, citing it for just, in my opinion, it just, there's no good reason that anybody would just out of the blue turn around and step away from this, with all the things that have been proven. People that are losing faith in the plan is a denial of all the information that's been presented. It's a total denial of it. Yet again, as we continue moving on, people that are losing faith in the plan are actually getting to the point where they're, could I say, tired of winning? Are you tired of winning? What say you? I say, if you're losing faith in the plan, then you are winning so much that you're going to beg me, please, Mr. President, please stop winning. I can't take the winning. And I'm going to say, too bad, you're going to keep winning. And I think that's the point that we're at right now. It's the sum of the parts it's made of. This is death by 1,000 cuts into the deep state. Death by 1,000 cuts and then some. It's a masterful plan. It takes time to pull something like what they're pulling off. Time that we can't comprehend because it's beyond the scope of anything that any one of us could imagine it could ever be. It's beyond that. It's enough for me to have a general understanding of what I think I see and know that I stand on the right side of humanity because I know what it represents that it takes down. So people that have lost faith in the plan, especially down this home stretch, man, I would have had a lot more respect for you had you bailed out at the midterm elections, or at least a year ago, something. You bail now, you expose your hand for being a shill. you totally expose your hand for being a shill. And there's not another good explanation for it. And you insert whatever patriot that you in the past maybe enjoyed listening to who has flipped. And there's many of them. Why even name names? There's so many that are out there. But what's that tell you? Why are there so many that would do that? Why are there so many that would be involved in going pro movement and then flipping almost like a light switch and bailing from it under the most suspect circumstances? I mean, it's just, I don't know. So Occam's razor. I'll just take it for the most reasonable explanation. They're shills. They're shills. And I'm not going to get caught up on wasting my breath worrying about them. This is, if we're watching a movie, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to stop the movie so we can go over and try to figure out why these people did this. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to blast right through that and go to the next scene. We are watching a movie. Let's get it going. That's what we're watching. Don't let your heart be troubled by what's going on. Is there real shit that's going down and people are, in some circumstances are getting hurt? Yes, man, it's got to be. The key to this is to get through it with the most minimal amount, which the deep state will not help reduce that. So that should tell you something alone, that their goal is to try to ramp it up. So right there points you to the enemy in general. People should understand that. They don't. But Trump was ultimately right. That people are going to beg him to stop winning. Well, they're not in so many words saying it, but they are. They are. They say, I'm sick of this. I'm walking away. I'm not doing this. I'm going to go vote for that party on the other side. And that message, which has been super glued together through a million tweets and a bunch of fumbling feeds out of President candidate Biden. And now Kamala Harris. And there's just a million ridiculous things involved with her. I mean, I for one have held to myself that I really despised her beyond almost any individual next to Hillary through the Kavanaugh hearings. The Kavanaugh hearings put her into rare air for certain expletives that are in my vocabulary that only pertain to the upper 1%. And it's very rare to get up in there, and she made the list because she's every bit of all of that, and she was despicable through those hearings. And she is just a liar. She's a liar, even through the Democrat debates. She stated right on national television that she believed Joe Biden's accusers. Now she's the vice president candidate of the United States. Get out of here. This whole thing is super glued and mudded together with lies and deception and mainstream television. And that's it. It's all put together with that. And it's quickly unraveling. You guys feel it. I know you do. It's a long, long journey we've been on. I was thinking about it. Some of us are coming up on knowing each other about 3 years. It's been full of ups and downs and a little bit of drama here and there. But man, we are coming home stretch. I know you feel it. We've got to powerfully get this man reelected. We have to give him a Senate that gives him a supermajority. And we have to regain the House. And not because we're looking for a dictator. We're looking to bring a peace officer, a man of peace, a man of the people. We're looking to put him in charge and have to deal with as little amount of bullshit as he needs to do the right thing by every American. And when he gets that and he transforms that, on the map to America, it will spread into every Western civilization almost immediately. This is going to ultimately bring a higher level of living to everybody. When the Democrats wanted to smash it down, they wanted to crush it. They don't care about you. George Carlin, the man will be quoted for centuries and probably eons. He said, they don't care about you. They don't give a F about you. They don't give a F about you. He knew. He's not wrong. He'll be right the rest of his life about a lot of the things that he talked about. And I am late to the party on George Carlin, but I've come to respect him greatly, especially in the last 10 years as I've actually listened to him. But yeah, he's pretty right on with some of that stuff. So it was meant to talk about losing faith in the plan, and I wanted to go through that. And I was talking about, people are ultimately begging Trump to stop winning, right? They're jumping the party. But don't lose your faith. I asked you, where is your patriotism? Where tonight is your patriotism? Are you getting caught up in these things that take your direction off what you know to be the truth? The things that are being shown right before your very eyes every day? The mainstream television losing their damn minds every night. Not a senator in the Senate from the Democrats will renounce Antifa. Not a one. I mean, how much more information do you need to offer people that are asleep before? Why waste your breath? It's right there. We're seeing it. They won't denounce it. Did you see today? I know you guys probably seen this. Some of you probably put this in the chat already. If you go to Antifa.com on your mainstream browser, it takes you immediately to the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris campaign for a donation. Type in Antifa.com. That's where it takes you. Hand to God, I did it earlier, and that's exactly where it took me. I don't know if it does it right at the moment, but that's true. I mean, these people aren't even hiding it any longer. They're not stepping behind the shadows. They are full front and center. And they are about to get very loud and get into our faces. They're about to denounce on a major level, probably one of the largest smear campaigns they can against the Q movement. It's coming. But that's where we talk about putting on the armor of God. And I think a lot of that has to do with holding to the truths that you know what they are today. You know inside of you what's real. And you know it's been shown to you, just like I have. And many Americans are starting to wake up. Many Americans, many people of the world are waking up. And this thing is exposed. And ultimately, the people that are asleep when this is over are going to choose to be asleep. We have to focus on the masses right now. We can't get caught up. There's lots of things that are happening that are ammunition for you in the truth movement, where you have an ability to talk about it. Things that you thought crazy to discuss with people a year ago are perfectly fine to bring up with them now. And you have that ability in you of knowing the truth. Hold tight to knowing the truth, guys. This whole thing is not for nothing. Going through all this, I think about what President Trump puts himself through, to be honest with you. It's amazing to me. When I think about it, it's amazing to me. When I really sit here and I think, and I think about the attrition of the mainstream television ever since he ran. And this guy is Mr. Autopilot. And he does not get outside of the box too much of where he is best. And it's been amazing and a privilege to watch him handle the press over the last 3.5 years. It really has been amazing. He's fighting all of them. It's the damnedest thing ever to watch him go at it with them. And a lot of, snowflakey type leftist people. I don't like the way he talks to me. And he's like, he's like, too bad. Here comes the truth. And now it's coming. You ready? You ready? You ready? Here it comes. Here's the truth. And then he just spits it at him, and they just, oh, it's been amazing to watch him. So I ask again, where is your patriotism level? Where is it? Because it's all finally happening. Legitimately, right now. It's all really happening. You can't ride it this far and bail. I mean, if you do, you do. But I mean, I'm just not going to make an excuse for anybody that bails at this point. It's like, okay, it is what it is. So the movement is bigger than anybody can imagine. The silent majority is a real thing. Of course, they don't want to go out there. Because these damn lunatics that want to beat your head in with a freaking shovel. They want to smack you with anything they can get their hands on. I mean, they're just, who the hell's going to go out there? You know? Nobody's going to go out there and just do that. It's like, we're going to stand back and go, all right, just let it happen, you know? Let these cities just burn and let it expose the Democrat leadership that has failed them for decades be on full display. Democrat run large cities that are really poorly run are center stage. And they've been on center stage. And that whole narrative is crumbling. It's crumbling. It's crumbled. Therapeutics are on the way. Hydrochloroquine is on the way. Very safe, very inexpensive. I like it. I think you like it too. There's beautiful things on the horizon. I also heard hydrochloroquine destroys cancer cells. So there's that. Yeah. Sounds like it's a pretty amazing drug. Pretty good therapeutic. Not a vaccine. That's what we like. And that's what your president wants. He's made it clear that no one will have to take a vaccine that doesn't choose to take the vaccine. If you don't choose to take that, everybody's like, yeah, you won't be able to do business without it. But no. Stop. Therapeutics are going to cure a lot of things. I don't know completely what, but it's going to be good. He's ripped the middle arm out of Big Pharma from the manufacturer to the end user. He has ripped the middle, the heart right out of it. I took out the middleman. I guess you can call it a middleman. Some people say I should say middle person, but it's always been known as a middleman. So I think I'll use that. The middleman has been taken out of the Big Pharma equation. A lot of rich people are going to be very upset with me. A lot of rich people. Very upset with me. And he ain't wrong. He repeated it a few times. You could tell it was weighing heavy on him. Because if you think about it, guys, at some point in time, how long is it before just a bunch of people with just like rifles just start trying to like pillbox and fire shots from like every angle, like into the White House or something? I mean, if you think about what it represents that they're taking down, where is the deep state's Alamo? Where's their Alamo? If they're worth their weight in deep state salt, they'll die standing up, and at least they'll have died for their satanic cause. But if they go down on their knees, which I suspect many of them will, how are you going to know you got it all? This is a beautiful plan. They have to get all of it. We got to root it all out. We got to cut it out of every facet. It's beyond chopping the head of the snake. And you know this. People see this. Pat Martinez, good to see you. X22 report is very good to watch. Dave gives a lot of hope and explains situations. Dave is big fast. I really like Dave. I highly recommend also X22 report. He breaks it down really, really great. I also recommend Truth and Art TV. Truth and Art TV. He's got really, really, check it out. He might not be your cup of tea, but I like him. I think he's good. I think he's really good. Two, I would highly recommend for sure. For sure. So I was thinking about why why this plan could work. Like how, okay, we know it's moves and counter moves, right? But how could this plan ultimately work? It couldn't without the aggression of the deep state. I mean, they had to go on the offensive and put Trump on the defensive. But their key mistake, their weakness, just one of them. They have many. The one that I would, completely, I guess I've always understood because he's always been an underdog, but that they completely and totally underestimated who Donald Trump was and is, and who I didn't know at the time. I mean, what I think of this man today is a culmination of the last 3.5, 4 years, and the handful of things I watched him interview on before that. But he always seemed like a sensible guy, so whatever. Anyway, his message was awesome coming into the presidential election. He sounds just like he's always sounded from everything I could tell. Talks about making everything better for America, bringing everything here. I thought it was fantastic, but they didn't think he could win. And once he did, he's a real estate businessman that understands building. He understands structure. He understands foundations. And he understands that on a level that most people can't understand it, not only in the building world, but in the business world. And has he failed? Sure. Not completely. Has he had some things go south? Absolutely. He happens to live in the most wonderful country in the world that you can live in, to take a risk, take a gamble, have it go south, and not have to lose your ass for the rest of your life. They allow you to rebound. And when you rebound and you come back, you're adding to society. You're adding to the workforce. You're adding to jobs. You're adding to all that. They underestimated him getting into office. And when he did, it was like the sunshine finally gleamed into the middle pyramid in Giza, and it somehow unlocked the Indiana Jones stone that now went, it unlocked it. Something crazy happened when this man won the election. And it's been difficult, guys. Don't get me wrong, being awake. But you've been on the ride the whole time. You understand. It's been proven to us over and over. We're right here. Like I said, those people bailing in the last 90 days against Trump, and all this information, all this proof has been shown to all of us. It's freely given. But they underestimated this man. And what happened is when he got into office, he was who he actually is. And that's my point I want to make. He is a man that met the people that built the foundations of these massive structures. He spoke with the guys that poured the mud and laid the cement and the concrete. And he talked to the electricians. And all of them, everybody, all you ever heard in their life is that when that guy is talking to you, you feel like you're the only person in the room. And that says something fantastic about him. He loves what people would call the common man, the common person. But what he loves more than that is America and everything it stands for. And you just need to not look further than Mar-a-Lago. He had a flag. I just found this out today. I don't remember what I watched it on. It might have been, I don't know what it was. Anyway, he had a giant flag up at Mar-a-Lago, and they came at him and said, you can't have it up there. It's so high with some ordinance. So what he did is he had a big hill put into Mar-a-Lago, big hill that was all covered in grass and everything, and then he mounted it on top of there, and that's how he got ahead of it. So, I don't know. I'd say he's a patriot. That's what I would say. He loves America and what it stands for, and there's numerous stories about him just doing above and beyond good guy stuff, you know? I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know much about him until he became the president, so can't really speak for him too much, but seems to be an okay president. Seems to be doing okay. He's pretty much smashed everything that he said he was going to do, right? I mean, how did Joe Biden pick Kamala Harris? What is that about? Oh my God. I don't know what's coming, you guys, in the next, 90 days, 88 days. But I don't think any of us are going to forget it once we get through it. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we're definitely not going to forget it. And probably, unfortunately, the days proceeding that night. I don't know, they're trying to get the mail-in voting rammed into, you guys, if it goes to unlimited mail-in voting as opposed to absentee voting, this is going to be the cluster pluck of the century. It won't be good. You guys already know that. I know you do. But it's not going to be good. No. This is where trusting the plan becomes a little difficult, and I get that. But I do. So many things have been proven to show. I mean, you wouldn't take it all the way to where it is right now. They have the deep state doing exactly as they want them to do right now. That's what's going on. They're puppets. Remember back after he was found innocent, of the impeachment by the Senate? There was the grid in one of the drops. It showed President Trump, and it said, "My turn," which meant it was time to go on the offensive. And from almost that point forward, moving forward, it's been like a ship turning slowly, but the balance of power shifting for those in the Democrat Party to now have to prove themselves. They need to prove their innocence because they painted themselves into a corner of which they have to live to the same standard that they demanded Donald Trump live up to, and which they put him through for 2.5 years with the Mueller investigation, with him not intervening at all. Nobody should be above the law. That's what they all said. Nobody should be above the law. Agreed all the way around. His turn. That's what all that means. And what you're seeing now is the collective from like that point moving forward. And he's been in their head the whole time. But from that point moving forward, this is all just slowly moved them all into like this area where they can't move anymore. There's oh shit, no, what do I say? I don't know. I don't know how to say. And page 45, they don't know what they're doing. They're shots fired, man down. They're in trouble, man. They got this thread of a chance with this election, and that's pretty suspect because what are they gonna wheelbarrow Joe across the finish line? I mean, the speculation is that he's not going to make it much further. All this information is coming out right now about him and just all of his ties with President Obama into all the debriefings and the unmasking, including General Flynn, the highly respected General Flynn, the now memorialized in the future on the rock of some mountain somewhere, General Flynn, that guy, or at least a big ass bronze statue somewhere. That guy's an American hero right now. Lights out. This is it all end right now. He's an American hero. And one day he'll be honored for the American hero he is. Ooh, Ralph. You will. Yeah. Joe Mama says it's tiring him out though. He looks really tired last 2 weeks. Can you imagine the stress that man is under? No, Joe. No, I can't. I can't. And that's actually part of what feeds me a little bit. I'm glad I went back and read that because, you know what, that was a point. Yeah, I mean, I'm so impressed with this guy. And he even sounded a little bit tired today when he was given the briefing today. I mean, you can kind of hear it in his voice and stuff like that, which, you know what, I think that's, you know, it is what it is, but it just tells me that the guy's working. I mean, the guy's working, you know. He's not sugarcoating it. He's showing up. He's answering questions. You're starting to, maybe in the littlest way, see the press starting to move ever so slightly in his favor. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if there has to be this narrative shift for the press where they have to. And you know what? Some of the I was reading something earlier today, and some of this stuff is crazy. You know, because I'm trusting the plan. I'm watching it. I'm happening. I'm watching people react. I'm watching all this. Somebody's coming out and going, they've already been arrested. They've all been arrested. It's already been sealed. I mean, some of these people have already been executed and put away. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, 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 no. If what they're saying is correct, I say great. But I say there's nothing that has pointed us in that direction at all. Stay on message, stay on point. If you feel yourself getting tugged in that direction, entertain it, laugh about it, but know that something of that kind of thought process that starts talking about people have been executed, people are in Guantanamo Bay, and there's clones and all this shit that are like everywhere and that kind of stuff. I say no. Do they have the ability to clone a person? I say yes, probably. Do they have enough to get it right every time and they got them walking everywhere? That kind of, I say no. I call bullshit. Like, what's the purpose? They'll all be held accountable. I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of disinformation from the left out there. They're trying to muddy the water. You know, they're trying to paint a picture that this isn't real. That's probably the ones that are pointing out the fact, saying there's clones and that kind of shit. It's like they're trying to portray that it's not reality, therefore it's different, therefore it's not real. I mean, the mind fuckery that they play on us and have played on us forever, from the time any of us could turn a television on till present day, depending on your awake level, has all been designed to just mold you and mold you into an obedient sheep. In all reality, it is what it is, right? I'm sorry. If you're not awake, I'm sorry. You're going to get to that point where you're going to understand it. I'm sorry. Getting awake is a process, and it's a difficult process. It's not fun. There's a lot of hard truths, and when a lot of those hard truths hit you, uh, you know, they'll take the emotional wind out of you in a lot of ways. But eventually, like everything, you get through it. You will get through it. You'll come to accept and know the truth. And then you come to accept and know the fact that in the end, when this is done, there were some group of people that came together and said, enough of this. We're not going to stand for it. We have a plan, and we're going to free the children. And we're going to eradicate human trafficking altogether. Because at the end of the day, this is about the children. And there's been no bones about it that the mission of this was about ending it. It just so happens that as a result of fixing that, everything else gets fixed. So it's an upward shift, like as a result of ripping out the core of their operation, everything else will crumble under their regime, which opens up a whole new can of worms, because you have to ask yourself, how long has this been going on? And sadly, I think we all know the answer. It's just been covered up, right? It's been going on forever. Just covered up. I don't know. I'm going to feel a lot better once this man is reelected and once he has a supermajority in the Senate and once they regain control of the House. I'm going to sleep a lot easier. But he's my president, so I sleep pretty well now. But I'm going to sleep a lot easier once that happens. You know. Blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Once Donald Trump gets reelected, it's going to be blue skies. I'm telling you. Blue skies. The best is yet to come. Okay? The best is yet to come, folks. Stick with me. Trust the plan. And the best is yet to come. Okay? Okay? I think it's a pretty fun plan. Watching him wrangle the mainstream television has been the highlight of my year. Man, he has beat that mainstream television booty. He has beat them verbally and just smashes them. And I think that's a lot of fun to watch. It's almost as fun as watching his debates against Hillary in the presidential debate. I'm guilty. I go back and watch sections of those. I think they're hilarious. I mean, they're just immortalized moments. So many. Oh man. All right, so I guess that's about it. Got out two sides of something. So. Anyway, see what you guys are saying. See if we got anything else to talk about. Red pill, I've lost a lot of friends and family members since this movement and continue to do so. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, I haven't lost a lot, but I've lost some. Yeah. That's difficult, especially when the vast amount of knowledge proving what's actually happening is happening. It's right there. There's, believe it or not, news sources on mainstream television in Fox News, albeit Sean Hannity, but he talks about everything that has to do with the complete Mueller report and how it was all fabricated through the Clinton Foundation and Fusion GPS and all of that and all it ties into. And he does it every single night. And it is what it is. It's shown, all of it shows it goes right up to the top, right up to Barack Obama, right to the top. It was spying. Trump as much said so a couple times in the last 2 days. Right there when he was making his like 5:30 or whatever speech, talked about it. But we caught them all. Okay, we caught them. Biden, Obama, Comey, Clapper, Peter Strzok, Lover, Lisa Page. Remember her name? Lisa Page, folks. The Lovers. We caught them all. Okay, caught them all. He's saying it right on the television. He's saying it, and nobody's doing a follow-up question like, "What?" Not a word, not a peep, nothing. But silence. That's it. You're either awake or you're not awake. That debriefing room, in and of itself, should wake everybody up with a half a brain. It should wake anybody up. Listen to the questioning. My Lord, the left has been destroyed over the last 3 years. Destroyed. Nobody wants to talk about that. They don't talk about anything else. Why don't you have adequate testing? Everybody that's wanted a test or needed a test was able to get a test. There's no test shortage, okay? How many times you got to repeat that? Anybody that's wanted a test or needed a test was able to get a test, okay? What about ventilators? Everybody that wanted a ventilator or needed a ventilator had a ventilator, okay? There was no shortage, okay? Over and over and over on everything. Over and over on everything. And he just stands up and brushes himself off and he moves forward. Winning. Move out of my way. I'm winning. America, you coming with me? We're winning. You are fake news. You get out of my way. We're winning. We're winning, folks. You're gonna win so much. You're gonna beg me to stop winning. I think he got to some people. Some people are definitely tired of winning. We'll call them B-backs. Like, they'll be back. Okay? They'll be backs. Just gonna think maybe they short circuited. Just like, and they'll get back. Yeah. Come back. Come back to the truth. They'll come back to the truth. Well, hello, Mel. Marvelous Mel Monty. Nice to see you. And Redneck Prepper. I see you, Redneck Prepper. They do, Joe. They do. The press asks they do. They ask the same damn questions 50 different ways. Disgusting. And they always are like this. Picking up on Kaylee's point, blah, 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 blah. And they just try to hammer him down. And he's just... But I am remotely seeing maybe the slightest turn, like I was just saying a little bit ago, that maybe they're coming around a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. I mean, they're not fair. They're definitely fake news. Jim Acosta, I saw something he put on, posted, I think on Twitter, somebody tweeted out, but it was of him making comments about the fact that when Trump said, Obama, Biden, Comey, Clapper, all this, he was like, those are not true and not factual and have not been proven. Not been proven. I mean, you would think it'd be news, like, oh my God, he just implicated the 44th president of the United States. The current vice president is running to be president, head of CIA, head of FBI. He just said it, which haven't been proven. Like, Jim, you should be fired. Journalism at CNN is far long dead. But if there was one final nail in the coffin waiting to be swung into that coffin of lying sack of dog shit known as CNN, it was Jim Acosta's. That's the final nail. But unfortunately, their coffin is going to be bigger. So it's going to require a lot more nails. But it's a piece of shit outfit, just like MSNBC. Just like so many of them, and just like so many that are shills within the Fox network. Just, there's a reason we've been shown that we are the news now. Where the information comes from for all of us puts us in the class of people that are the news now. You understand what's going on. You understand the news. You hold your tongue sometimes in a public format where you don't need to put yourself in that kind of atmosphere, but one-on-one, you're able to help people. You're able to make sense of it. And you can give them your own little dose, whatever you want to give them. But shit is so crazy right now that anybody's going to be receptive to what you're saying. I guess that's the main point, is that if you sound like somebody that's got answers and somebody's going, what the fuck is going on? It's like, let me tell you what's going on. And they're going to go, oh my God, you speak a message of hope and inspiration. Tell me more. And you're going to be like, yeah, it is a message of hope and inspiration. It's not a message of throwing bricks at people and destroying people's businesses and destroying their homes and in some instances killing them and just hurting and just mindlessly wrecking your community with people that aren't even from the area. Yeah, you know, it's not good. Yeah. Yeah. The former senator of Arizona, Jeff Flake, is a bitch, for the record. Just so I can put that in the YouTube ether, he's a straight up B. For real. He showed his true colors in the Kavanaugh hearing. But you know what else? Speaking of the Kavanaugh hearing, so did Kamala Harris, and I already talked about it earlier. But man, that chick took it to a whole new level of dislike for me. I don't care for her one bit at all. Not at all. I just don't. Can't imagine too many black people are going to be happy to vote for her either, especially black men. It's just what I'm thinking is that maybe the Democrats are trying to put the two worst possible candidates that they can up there so that maybe when they're traveling together somewhere to campaign and their own party shoots it down with like a bazooka or something, that they're hoping that everybody will approve the people they put in for them, which will probably be like Hillary and Michelle Obama or something like that. Or maybe they don't have to like get blown out of the sky by like their own party's bazooka, but maybe they, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, she is a horrendous pick. He's a horrendous candidate. She is a horrendous pick for vice president. He should have put in Stacey Abrams. If he's going to pick a black woman, he should have put in Stacey Abrams. She'd have got right through the meat and potatoes about her being fat with the Gap too. She'd have got down to meat and potatoes. She thinks she's the governor of Georgia. She ain't gonna play, man. No vice president, Pence. You in my vice president house. You get out. You get out. It's September. I don't care. Get out of my house. She'd shut him right down. Kamala Harris is going to talk and browbeat him into everybody going, settle down, Karen. She's so bad, she needs her own name. Karen ain't even a good name for her. She's like hell on wheels, Karen. She's not an enjoyable person to listen to. Right when she got her bus to go on tour, she dropped out. She had less than 1% of the vote. She wasn't likable. She wasn't relatable. Do you remember the footage? I wish I could pull it up. Where she was trying to march with these like whatever, these band kids that were in like 6th grade, and she's marching next to them, and she's doing this wacky Karen dance with these kids that are on beat and stuff, and she's doing this weird Karen's mom sisters dance next to him, like making all this goofy weird movement. You remember that? She's all goofy and weird. She's strange. The woman's not relatable. And when she tries to act relatable, she's not. When she tried to tell a story about smoking grass, smoking marijuana, she tried to talk about doing it with Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Except they weren't around when she was saying she did it. And she made a career out of locking up people 3 strikes and you're out on marijuana charges. Kept them within. She was the Attorney General of California. And she was a raging bitch. She was a deep state raging bitch. She slept her way into politics at 29 years old, got into an affair with Willie Brown, 60 years old, senator from California, got into there, home wrecker, okay, whatever, 29, she's old enough to make her own decisions, but she got a really bad reputation because it's what launched her career into politics. He backed her, and it's always covered her. And yes, she's an accomplished woman, but you know what? She has not done right by any of her people, ever. She is a deep state controlled piece of shit puppet. And I will never forgive her for the display she put on in the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings for the Supreme Court. I personally just cannot stand her. She's one of those people. I imagine there's some people out there. It's probably a small percentage that don't like it when I open my mouth. Okay, like when people hear Trump, they're just like, I can't fucking stand listening. I legit can't stand listening to her. I just don't like her at all. And all the baggage that goes with it already. People are talking about her heritage and all that. And I mean, they're running her as an African American. Her dad's Jamaican, her mom's Indian, so she's not African American. She's not from America. Which, I mean, can you actually even, was she born in America? Can she run to be the vice president? Is that even legal? Like, I don't know. Was she born in America? But anyway, that's the reality. I mean, that's her heritage. Is she dark complected? Yes. Did she pass? Like, you know, my mom's white, my dad's black? Yeah, for sure. But Stacey Abrams is an African American. Biden should have got an African American woman. And that's why he also couldn't get Michelle Obama. That man. And Kamala's bitch is going to be on 10. She's going to go up against nice Mike Pence. Mr. Mr. Cool as a cucumber through the COVID briefings. I just want to thank you. I just want to say how wonderful it is to be working with all these talented people that are not only right here in front of us, but that all the ones that are back here in the back. And I just want to say it's just such a wonderful experience to be operating under the direction and the leadership of President Trump, what he's shown, what he's done. And with the likes of me working with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, I think we've correlated this cohesive message that just makes everything work. And I think the American people appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, he's going to glide through that with her. She is going to be who she is, and people don't like her. And they just don't like her. Call me crazy, but that's how you win elections. People gotta like you. And they don't like Kamala. And she's fake as it gets. She panders relentlessly. I just don't see it happening for her. And I don't see it happening for Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe. Not a good pick. So if they, so I said earlier, if they yank him at the final hour, like in October, and they got to run somebody, I said maybe Hillary or Michelle Obama. I do think as a final Hail Mary, like if they really think that they got to like pull it out and do it, which I think they will, I could see them trying to insert Bernie Sanders and maybe run with Kamala, or I don't know. I could see them because Bernie's the only one that can mentally get on a stage and actually have a discussion with Trump. They've got to have an orator, or they have no message. So who the hell are they going to put on the stage with Trump? They got to put Bernie up there. I'm just throwing that as a last minute Hail Mary, but I mean, would that be the only reason that Bernie would go along with it? Is that the only reason that he agreed to dump all of his votes in the final primary so that Biden would get it? Was because they said, listen, we've got to run somebody that can't win and then take him out and put somebody in there with a message. And Bernie's quietly in the wings going, that's going to be me. I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the president. Give me another house. That's me. I'm the guy. Put me in and people won't die. I may have just come up with the solution. I don't know. I wasn't thinking it, but now I can see it now that I was thinking about it. I could actually see him trying to put somebody in there that can at least verbally combat Trump. And who else would it be? Kamala Harris for sure, but nobody likes her. Do people like Bernie Sanders? I mean, even if they won't vote for him, they go, he's a likable guy. He doesn't come out and say he wants to kill anybody. He talks about universal this, universal that. We need this, we need that. Take away this, take away that, do this for everybody, and install complete socialism as your grandfather or something. But he just looks crazy. I mean, it's just that's my call. That's my call. Bernie Sanders inserted at the last moment. I'm probably way off. Oh yeah. Shout out to Red Pill Marine. His boy is on high speed and low drag missions. And we appreciate his service. And we appreciate you lending your boy to the defense of our country for a little while, Red Pill. I'm sure your president's going to take care of him. We're thankful for everybody serving and everybody that served, of course. Of course. There's no higher honor. They tried to take that away from people that have served. They tried to take it away. They tried to do a bunch of movies that painted people in the military as, you know, over USA grunt pieces of shit. No, the overwhelming majority of people that are in the military that I met, overwhelmingly, were pro-America. They joined because they love America. And yeah, there's brigs for a reason. People go to the brig. They're human. But man, overwhelmingly, majority of them are of the right mind to be a part of the military. They love our country, me included. You take your oath. I mean, it's an oath for life. For those of you that haven't been in the military, and I imagine it's probably the same for police officers, but I've never been a police officer. But probably the same for doctors. You know, lawyers. Oh, no, forget lawyers. Fuck lawyers. But all of them, they take an oath. All right, they take an oath. And when you take the oath, you take the oath for life. And for somebody that's in the armed forces, it's an oath to protect America and to rise up against tyranny. You know, it's actually something you take to grave. So it's, you know, there's a lot of people out there in all branches of the military that remember their oath. And every one of them, here's the beautiful thing about our military, every one of them are rifle certified. They can all shoot. Some better than others, but they can all shoot. And that's what's beautiful about America and the military, for sure. Yeah, so just check the chat and then maybe we'll wrap this up. No, Monty. Mandatory and we rise up. No, true. He puts too much importance on it. Drives me crazy. Who's that? Let's see. All I'm saying is you better pull up on the vax talk after the election. Mel, I agree. It's going to be therapeutics, right? Hydrochloroquine. We already know it. I don't know who Tommy G is, Mel Monty. Is that a YouTube channel, and should I be watching it? Is it good? Tommy G brought up a Clinton Gates ticket. Oh, excuse me, I don't know what that is. Man, what else is going on right now that's crazy? My governor's crazy, you know, and she's really butthurt. She's really butthurt that she didn't get the nod. She did not get the nod to go for Biden. She was too white, and she was too white, but qualified to be a ass-kissing puppet. Yes, for sure. This woman is dreadful. I'm glad I don't know her. But in this area where I'm at, many people knew her. And there's something that is different about who she is right now versus then. You know, everybody's got a past, right? But how many people can run a state and take direction and control to push sick COVID patients into nursing homes? How many can do that against the federal orders? You're one of 5 states that did it, and it's the majority of the deaths in your state in every instance. And she was one of those. And our state attorney general is a dumbass. And our state secretary of labor or education, I don't know, maybe I'm the dumbass, but I can't listen to any of them. speak. It's just, honestly, it is just the worst. Because all the talking points are just the most ridiculous thing. This whole disease is shutting down everything. There's like a 0.000245 survival rate. It affects people on average that die over 78 years. We're shutting down our country. These are talking points I picked up from some of the videos that I watched, but that's either the correct percentage or it's close to what I remember. But I mean, the reality is that everybody needs to take their mask off and just say, bullshit, stop. You know, that's the point of this whole wake up, is to get people to wake up. And it's high time we all did. If you have to go to work and you have to wear a mask to work, it's totally respect it. Totally respect it. Do it. You got to do that to put food on your table, you do it. But if you don't have to wear one going into someplace, don't. If you just have it in your pocket, put it around your ears and put it under your chin. And when you walk in, hold it up like this for a second. When you get in, pull it down and leave it under your chin, like a big F you. I mean, or don't wear it at all and get in a confrontation and tell them to fuck off, and it's against HIPAA laws to even ask you, and you'll see them in court, and, you know, F you and have a nice day. You know, pick your battles. But I mean, I'm listen, I'm as fed up with this shit as you are. I can guarantee you I am. I'm totally fed up with the masks and all the shit, and I'm ready for the plan to move forward. But the reality is that it's not about what I want. I'm along for the ride. So therefore, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get swayed. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to say when. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to answer the people that say, when's it going to happen? When's it this? Oh, yeah, sure. You said this and this. Listen. Pretty soon, anybody's thoughts and any of that on this will be irrelevant because it will be in the rearview mirror. We are at beyond the precipice, but we're here. We're seeing people going crazy on the left. We're seeing mainstream television going crazy. We're seeing unvetted left and right accusations left and right. We're seeing different places burning and blowing up everywhere in the world. Could just be, you know, random circumstance, you know, but it's just happening everywhere. So let's just leave it at that. But to me, it's, you know, in a lot of ways, it could be expelling of evidence. You know, I mean, the walls are literally crumbling down around them. They've lost the narrative for a while now. But the better part of this plan has allowed them to expose themselves, and in a big effort to let them paint themselves into the corner. And that's what we're at. They painted themselves back into this corner, and it's really quickly closing in on them because the election is closing in. So they ramp up what they do, and they're getting worse and worse and worse. And your goal, your mission, what you know what your duty is as an awake and awoke patriot, is to not buy into it and allow yourself to be like fretful over it. Like, I wonder if they're going to get this through. Like Trump pulled the plug on their whole holding hostage of the money, you know, the stimulus. Said, fine, we're not gonna deal with you. He signed 4 executive orders, bada boom, bada bang. Now they're trying to come back and trying to re-talk about it. They need the money. He's run the deep state out of money. The only reason they want this money and the funding is they need the money to fund their operation. He's run them out of gas. That's why I even said, we're not going to pack it full of stuff that's going to run these Democrat cities that have been poorly run for decades. We're not going to just fund them and bail them out. And all these Democrat cities and states that want to try to implement mail-in voting, that's got to come from you funding it. California doesn't have the money. They're bankrupt. They don't have the money to fund it. He was like, well, I guess you have to find the money. That's too bad. That's what he said. It's too bad. I was like, yeah, that is too bad. Man, he's bled them dry. I mean, don't walk away from it now. And I'm not talking to you guys. But anybody that does, man, they're just put a bullseye on them. They're a shill. They're a shill. Or they're the most ignorant person in the world who doesn't, their opinion doesn't matter anyway. Because they're dumber than a box of nails. It just doesn't matter. Their opinion doesn't matter at this point. And honestly, anybody that turns from this movement and goes the other way, their opinion really doesn't matter either. I'm not saying don't question things, don't bring up good, but to even 180 off all this, everything vested, just walk from it. Man, there's like no words for it. There's one word it's not. It's there's no respect. I don't have any respect for them. No. Yeah. What are you saying, Mel? Redneck Prepper, did I tell you what happened when I walked into the dollar store with an NBC mask on? God, did you really? You put one on and walked in there? I'm gonna guess everybody tried to give you their wallet. Is that what happened? I'll have to check out Tommy G then, Mel. Thanks. I'll have to check him out. So many people are drinking the Kool-Aid regarding the mask, the shutdown, the social distance. You know what? I secretly think that these losers out there like wearing the mask. Some of these people really like wearing the mask. So the people, you know what? They're in every store, but they have their own mask. They have a custom mask. It's the people that are outside walking on the sidewalk by themselves in a mask. They like wearing a mask. People driving in a car, they like wearing a mask when they're driving, even if they're alone. Seriously, drive with a mask. Um, I think people really like wearing the mask. So let them wear the mask. Just don't make me. I don't give a shit if they don't wear the mask. Stay in your cocoon, okay? I mean, you guys have probably seen this in a million memes, but how can all the people that work in liquor stores and grocery stores all be allowed to open and operate this whole time and none of them have like an epidemic of anybody catching COVID during that? Nobody thinks about that shit or questions it. Nobody cares. Wear a mask. Shut it down. Trump's bad. Evil. Trump's evil. Wow. You broke him with your NBC mask. Nice. I see you. I'm hugging you. You don't want it? You better run the other way. Who's that to? Headless Horseman is in the house and he is testing his patients. He is testing the microphone. He is testing nothing. You're in Walmart checkout and two separate fights broke out about people in social media. The fights broke out? It's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, you know, maybe there's a certain element of attrition that should be allowed when this is all said and done. Like if it would weed out like 100% of the really, really dumb people. I can't say it. Never mind. I can't say it. You had to get a mask to get Pat Martinez. I had to wear a mask last week to get my driver's license renewed. And then you were allowed to take it off so that you could get your papers so they could identify you properly. I get it. I get those too. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. Redneck Preppa says it is their plan of control of socialism. That's Big Ten for good buddy. That's exactly what it is. And it's, that and offshoots of Marxism and so many, other isms and things that have just infiltrated themselves and weave themselves into the fabric of our society, not only here, but globally. Um, it's difficult to wrap your head around it completely, but you know, I understand when President Trump, like, kind of put his head down. It was a few months ago about like going to the next phase of something, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to do it." And you can tell that it kind of weighed heavy on him. You can kind of tell, but it was almost like if we go beyond this point, there's no going back. And we're a couple, 2.5 months into that decision. When I'm sorry I don't have it here to reference it, but I remember it. You know me, I'm not going to lie purposely at all, ever. Um, but I remember that, and you know, to me, it was saying, here comes the heavy. You know, this has been about waking up, and this has been about exposing them for how stupid and dumb they are. Because these people are stupid. You're watching a movie because of how stupid they are. They know the movie. That being said, in some ways, they could bring the heavy a little bit, and who knows if that's going to be random, weird. They have to keep the news cycle shifting, different. They have to keep it off of them. God knows. They're totally defending themselves left and right now. Totally defending themselves. Well, they're still striking out at Trump, but that's starting to go away less and less. Kamala tried to rejuvenate it today, but that will go away soon, and we will, we will have them answering for many of the things they do. I hope, however, they're exposed and how this goes down is super embarrassing for them. I want them to be mortified. Like, no offense to anybody that this has ever happened to, but like if you're like a husband and a bride and one of you cheated on each other, let's say the husband cheated on the bride with her best girlfriend. And the bride found out, but the girlfriend didn't know, and the guy didn't know that the wife knew. She found he dropped the boom in front of all of the congregation and everybody and just dumped them right there on the altar with a smackdown. I hope it's that level of shame. Actually, I feel bad for the guy now, but you know what? Fuck him. He cheated on his wife with her best friend. In my made up story. Anyway, I was going to say I feel bad for him, but no, I don't in this story. I don't feel bad for him. F him. She deserves the Medal of Honor for having the guts to go all the way up to the altar and then expose them. And I hope that's the level of exposure that these deep state assholes have on their face and it's just irrefutable and it's inexcusable. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of them just whatever didn't show up for work ever again. They disappeared, totally disappeared. If I give you a rent, you got to be one of my viewers, man. And literally, literally everybody's got a wrench. I need more viewers. I noticed the rejuvenation of a lot of channels that I must have subscribed to at one point in time. That oh yeah, check it out, then subscribe. So I don't keep track of that. So I got like over hundreds of people I'm subscribed to. So they show up in my feed, and I'll be like, oh, and like I'm noticing like a rejuvenation of a lot of those starting to show up again. So people that maybe were into Q and started to go to sleep, or conspiracy, not necessarily Q, are starting to wake up and they're starting to come out with a little bit more frequency. I'm starting to see a little bit more chatter into suggested videos, that kind of stuff, just because I happen to be subscribed. I have no idea if I like even agree with their videos, because I'm just not gonna watch them. You know, I'm just not gonna watch them. So that's bad. Ferrero Rocher, amazing. Yeah, not like the Ferrero Rocher. That is delicious. Okay. All right. It's coming up on an hour and 30 minutes. That's a little later than I wanted to go. And yeah, so thank you guys for showing up. I think I got to anything anybody had to say. And probably not, but I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate y'all coming in. It was nice seeing you, Pat Martinez, and catching you live. That was nice. It was great to see you guys. All right. Everybody be cool. Maybe do a live stream again in the near future. All right. Good seeing you guys. Had fun. And stay cool. And yeah, do patriot shit. Okay. Always.